Plato's The Republic is one of the greatest classics in philosophy, written 2,500 years ago through a soul-stirring dialogue. It not only addresses the eternal question of justice but also sketches an ideal society that still captivates us today. Let's dive into Socrates' world of ideas in The Republic, a must-read in American universities, to see how it guides our lives and societies. From Athens to us, why the Republic still matters. In 399 BCE, Socrates faced trial in Athens, accused of impiety and corrupting the youth. He could have fled but chose to drink hemlock, calmly embracing death. Why was this philosopher so composed? Because he believed truth and justice outweigh life itself. His ideas, captured by his student Plato in The Republic, became the cornerstone of Western philosophy. They offer a key to understanding the complex relationship between individuals and society. The Republic emerged during the peak and crisis of Athenian democracy. Athens had just suffered defeat in the Peloponnesian War, and democracy was crumbling under populism and corruption. Plato, witnessing Socrates' tragedy and the city-state's decline, began to ponder, what is true justice? How should an ideal society function? These questions, relevant in ancient Greece, resonate with us today. In the AI era, with growing wealth gaps and social divides, how do we define fairness? How do we balance individual freedom and collective well-being? The Republic is like a mirror, reflecting humanity's timeless dilemmas. Plato's writing is masterful, using Socrates' dialogues to peel back the layers of justice. There's no dry lecturing, just a thrilling adventure of ideas. From marketplace debates to deep reflections in a cave, each step challenges your thinking. For instance, Socrates asks, is justice the rule of the strong or harmony within each person? This simple question stumps everyone, from merchants to nobles. How would you answer it? The Republic's appeal lies in its universal resonance. In China, Confucius explored benevolence and ritual to build a harmonious society. Despite the vast distance between Athens and ancient China's Lu state, both cultures asked, how can society be better? How can individuals live meaningfully? These questions transcend time and remain urgent today. Plato's travels to Sicily and Egypt exposed him to Persian and Egyptian cultures, broadening his perspective. He compared Athens' democracy, Sparta's oligarchy, and Eastern autocracies, seeking the best governance model. Yet the Republic isn't an ivory tower philosophy. Its core themes, justice, truth, education, and governance, connect to everyday life. Whether you're a student, professional, or socially engaged, this book prompts you to rethink your choices and beliefs. For example, when you face unfair treatment at work, do you stay silent or speak up? When you see injustice in society, do you act or stand by? The Republic doesn't just offer answers, it inspires you to ask your own questions. Next, we'll explore the heart of the Republic and its 3 key ideas, illuminating our world. The 3 core ideas of the Republic: justice, Philosopher-Kings, and the cave allegory. The Republic is a dialogue about justice, but it goes far beyond. Through Socrates' debates, Plato presents 3 central ideas: the essence of justice, Philosopher-Kings' governance, and the cave allegory's insights. These are not only philosophical gems but also keys to understanding society and personal growth. 1. The essence of justice, harmony in soul and city. The Republic opens with Socrates clashing with Cephalus, a merchant, and Thrasymachus, a debater. Thrasymachus claims, justice is the interest of the stronger. To him, laws and morals are mere tools for the powerful to maintain control. Socrates counters that justice isn't external rules but inner harmony. He argues that a city and a soul mirror each other. A just city requires balance among reason, courage, and desire. Likewise, a just person needs wisdom, bravery, and moderation in harmony. To illustrate, Plato imagines an ideal city with 3 classes: rulers' reason, guardians' courage, and producers' desire. Rulers make policies, guardians ensure safety, producers provide resources. Each must stay in their role for the city to thrive. Similarly, a person's soul has 3 parts: reason seeks truth, spirit fuels courage, desire drives needs. A just person lets reason lead, with spirit supporting and desire obeying. This idea echoes in real life. Martin Luther King Jr., the 20th century civil rights leader, fought for racial equality. His reason guided his nonviolent resistance, his courage faced death threats, and his moderation shunned personal fame. As he said in I Have a Dream, judge a person not by skin color but by character. King's vision of justice aligns with Plato's idea of soul harmony. His efforts led to the end of racial segregation laws, transforming countless lives. But justice is hard-won. Plato's Ring of Gyges allegory asks, if you had an invisibility ring to do anything, would you still choose justice? This question probes human nature. In reality, many compromise under temptation, like following workplace unspoken rules or navigating society's gray areas. Plato reminds us that justice is an inner choice, not just outward behavior. For example, China's Shang Yang reformed Qin's laws, strengthening order but sparking resentment due to harshness. Shang Yang's justice upheld state power but neglected human balance. Would you sacrifice short-term gains for truth and harmony? Justice also involves the tension between individual and collective interests. Plato believes personal and societal justice are linked. Only harmonious individuals create a fair society. Yet, personal desires often clash with collective goals. For instance, environmental campaigns urge lower emissions, but many resist giving up cars or air conditioning. Plato's insight is that justice requires a broader perspective. Your choices shape not just you but society. How would you balance personal desires with collective good? 2. Philosopher-Kings. Wisdom meets power. Plato's ideal city is ruled by philosopher-kings, thinkers who love wisdom and seek truth. He argues only philosophers can rise above self-interest to govern rationally. Socrates says, until philosophers are kings or kings become philosophers, cities will never have peace. This sounds utopian, but in Plato's time, Athens' democracy faltered due to populism and ignorance, like when it sentenced Socrates to death. The philosopher-king idea is a profound insight into leadership. Plato insists philosopher-kings undergo rigorous education in mathematics, philosophy, and physical training to develop reason and virtue. They seek neither wealth nor power but serve the city's good. This resonates historically. Nelson Mandela, imprisoned for 27 years, became South Africa's president and chose forgiveness over revenge, fostering racial reconciliation. His wisdom and selflessness made him a modern philosopher-king, guiding South Africa beyond apartheid. The philosopher-king idea extends to education. Plato's system: music for emotions, gymnastics for the body, mathematics for logic, and philosophy for understanding, the good shaped later elite education, like Aristotle's Lyceum or modern Oxford and Cambridge. Aristotle, Plato's student, tutored Alexander the Great, embodying philosopher-king training by using knowledge to shape leaders. However, philosopher-kings spark debate. Plato's elitism clashes with modern democracy's emphasis on broad participation. Yet his insight remains relevant. In an era of populism and misinformation, don't leaders need greater wisdom and ethics? For example, AI's rise raises privacy and ethical concerns. Without thoughtful leadership, technology could spiral out of control. In 2023, the EU's AI Act aimed to regulate AI development, reflecting Plato's rational governance. What qualities should an ideal leader have? 3. The Cave Allegory, From Darkness to Light. The Republic's most famous section is the Book 7 Cave Allegory. Socrates describes prisoners chained in a cave from birth, seeing only shadows on a wall. They mistake shadows for reality until one escapes, discovers the outside world, and sees the sun symbolizing truth. This allegory is not just philosophical brilliance but a metaphor for human cognition. It reveals education's essence, moving from ignorance to awareness, from appearances to truth. Socrates says most people cling to shadows, habits, prejudices, rumors, while philosophers guide them toward the sun. But awakening is tough. The freed prisoner is initially blinded by sunlight and longs for the cave's comfort. In reality, Galileo faced house arrest for his heliocentric theory, which challenged the church's shadows. In China, Li Hongzhang, a 19th-century reformer, pushed for Western technology but was branded a traitor for defying tradition. The cave allegory also stresses courage and responsibility. The freed person must return to the cave to help others, despite resistance. Socrates lived this, debating tirelessly despite knowing it could lead to death. Modern figures echo this. Greta Thunberg, the environmental activist, started a climate strike at 16, awakening global awareness. She said, "I don't want you to listen to me, listen to the science." Her actions mirror the philosopher returning to the cave to lead others toward light. The allegory's relevance shines in the information age. Social media algorithms act like cave shadows, reinforcing biases. During the 2020 US election, misinformation spread online, fueling division. Plato urges us to escape the information cocoon by questioning popular views and seeking truth. Try reading diverse news or joining cross-cultural discussions to approach the sun. Have you ever been trapped by a shadow? How can you break free? These three ideas, justice, Philosopher-Kings, and the cave allegory, form the Republic's core. They're not just ancient wisdom but frameworks for personal growth, governance, and truth-seeking. Next, we'll explore how to apply these ideas to your life and era. From ideas to action, practicing the Republic. The Republic's lofty ideas are grounded in practical wisdom. Through Socrates' dialogues, Plato offers ways to pursue justice and truth in personal and social life. Here are 4 paths to bring the Republic's ideas to life, igniting your philosophical spark. Cultivate inner justice. Let reason steer your soul. Plato believes justice starts within. Each person has reason, courage, and desire. Cultivating justice means letting reason guide, harmonizing all three. Socrates says, "A just person won't betray their soul for external temptations." Consider Ariadne Papadakis, a fictional Greek ethicist who founded a social enterprise in 2015 to educate refugees. She faced temptations, government funds demanded compromise, and business deals risked her nonprofit mission. Yet Ariadne used reason to stay true, asking, "Does this align with my mission?" Her work helped 5,000 refugees and became a European nonprofit model. Ariadne's story shows justice is about steadfast choices, not grand gestures. Inner justice means resisting the ring of judges. In the workplace, some hide truths for promotions, gaining short-term but losing trust long-term. Plato teaches that justice's reward is inner peace, not external gain. Try this. Spend 5 minutes daily reflecting, were your choices driven by reason or swayed by desire or emotion? When gossip tempts, reason urges listening over spreading. Create a justice list of 3-5 non-negotiable principles, like honesty or respect. Check decisions against this list to build inner harmony. 2. Embrace the philosopher's spirit. Face the world with wisdom. Philosopher-Kings embody wisdom and responsibility. Plato says true leaders use knowledge to serve, not dominate. Socrates warns, ignorance is the greatest evil. In today's information overload, the philosopher's spirit is vital. Confucius, China's philosopher, traveled to persuade rulers with benevolence and ritual, facing rejection but teaching 3,000 disciples. He said, "To know is good, to love knowledge better, to delight in it best." His blend of wisdom and passion mirrors the philosopher-king. Similarly, Bill Gates, once Microsoft's founder, now tackles global health and education as a philanthropist, embodying this spirit. The philosopher's spirit also means dissecting complex issues. Plato's math training honed logical thinking, still relevant today. Economist Thomas Piketty used data to show capital outpaces economic growth, offering rational answers to inequality. You can nurture this spirit. Read philosophy or history for 10 minutes daily, like Tao Te Ching or the histories, to broaden your mind. When debating, use Socrates' method. Ask why, or what's the evidence, instead of rushing to judge. In AI ethics debates, ask, is AI fair? Who defines fairness? This sharpens your insight in a complex world. 3. Escape your cave, embrace truth and responsibility. The cave allegory teaches that seeking truth takes courage, and sharing it takes responsibility. Socrates says, education ignites a flame, not fills a vessel. You can be a guide, helping yourself and others escape ignorance. Consider APG Abdul Kalam, born poor in India, who became an aerospace engineer and president. His Billion Dreams initiative gave free education to rural kids, lifting millions from knowledge caves. He said, dreams are what keep you awake. His work reflects Plato's ideal, education sparks hope, guiding others to light. Escaping the cave means overcoming mental barriers. Plato notes prisoners fear sunlight because it upends their worldview. Many avoid change, like shunning new skills for fear of failure. In 2022, China's coding boom saw millions learn Python, but many quit from fear of difficulty. Plato's insight, discomfort signals growth. Challenge a belief, like I'm bad at public speaking. Take a speech course for 3 months, you'll find you're stronger than you thought. Share knowledge, like writing a learning post online or hosting a book club. Each share sparks others' flames. Try a cave journal, weekly, note a bias you've overcome, like shifting from I steals jobs to learning AI skills. These steps bring you closer to truth. 4. Build a just society, from individual to collective. The Republic aims for a just society. Plato says personal justice underpins societal justice, but it needs systems and culture too. His ideal city, though a thought experiment, inspired real governance. Nordic countries, with high taxes and welfare, achieve fairness, echoing Plato's in their role idea. Consider Singapore. At its founding, Lee Kuan Yew faced racial divides and poverty but built a rational city through education, anti-corruption, and law. He said, governance needs wisdom, not populism. Singapore's high GDP per capita and social harmony reflect Plato's rational design. You can contribute to justice. Join community efforts, like environmental or charity work, or promote fairness at work, like opposing discrimination. In 2021, a Chinese programmer exposed 996 work culture online, sparking labor rights debates. His act, like a Platonic philosophers, awakened justice. Start small, speak against unfairness or volunteer your skills. Each step brings society closer to the ideal. These 4 paths: inner justice, philosopher's spirit, escaping the cave, and building justice make the Republic actionable. You don't need to be a philosopher, just willing to think and act. In the AI age, where technology and power intertwine, justice and truth remain vital. The Republic is a lamp, guiding us through the fog. Ignite your ideal flame. The Republic is more than a book, it's a soulful dialogue on justice and truth. 2,500 years ago, Socrates died for his beliefs. 2,500 years later, his ideas ask, will you fight for justice? Will you leave the cave to seek light? Recall Martin Luther King Jr., who escaped the cave of segregation, changing the world with wisdom and courage. You can be your own philosopher-king. Temptations and setbacks may come, but each choice for justice and truth lights your inner flame. Start now. Ask, how can I make the world fairer today? Act, even if it's helping a colleague or listening to a friend. Collect these sparks, they'll grow into a light that shapes your life. As Plato says, we don't live just to live, but to live better. In this fast-changing era, justice and truth are your best guides, giving meaning amid challenges. Are you ready to ignite your ideal flame?